Hello, welcome back to Herbie's Garage. Today we're going to be assembling the 2023 Venom SS3, which is a Life-in KP 150 Mini. And we're just going to go ahead and start getting into it. This is the fun part. As you can see, I opened up the box and I got the bolt bag and stuff, the hardware bags, and I spread everything out, organized it a little bit, and then I'm going to pull out my battery. There's also a tool kit. Like it's got everything necessary that you would need for emergency: spark plug socket, a straight blade, and a Phillips or JIS, whatever that is, an 8 and a 10 pair of pliers, a 16-18, and a 13-15. So that's the tool kit, and then it comes with a few instructions and the owner's manual. I recommend you read the owner's manual. I've gone through it a little bit, but inside the owner's manual is a warranty card you have to mail in within 5 days. I suggest you open your box, get that, and mail it in. That's why my box is open, so I could get to that and mail that in. And then we also have a set of mirrors. But the first thing I want to do is I want to get this battery going. We have the battery. That's the battery. And we have the acid. Okay, so we're going to cut this open. Take out the hardware. Unwrap it all. And peel that off. Plastic off of the bottles of acid. Now this is what you're going to use to cover your holes in your battery. These have foil tabs over them, so you don't have to worry so much about getting acid on yourself. Not at this point anyway. If you're careful, you won't have to worry about it anyway. Now the directions say just to turn it over, push it on here, and push down on it. Sometimes I take, that's what this little stick pin's for. I'll show you. Of course, it's got the bolts to put the positive and negative lead onto the battery. But the stick pin is to, after you turn it over, push it down like that, and you take your stick pin, poke a hole in the bottom of your plastic. It's a little bit tough, but it helps it to drain faster. Because it kind of gets airlocked otherwise. And just let it drain down in there. See them going down. These three are empty. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's got all the acid in there. So I'm just going to set this loosely on here for now. And I'm going to get the charger started on this. And you want to hook your negative from your charger up to the negative on your battery, of course. The positive to the positive of your battery. And I don't have it turned on. I'm going to plug it in here. It's always a good idea to hook your cables up and then plug it in. I have it set on charge, and I have it set on the slowest charge, which is 2 amp at 12 volts. And as you can see, my gauge is kind of dirty, but it's charging at about 2 amps. So I'm going to let that sit there and charge up a little bit, and we'll get to work on the other stuff. Okay, now we're going to take this top bracket off first. Those are 10 millimeter, but before we do that, it's got these ties on the back. I just use these big cutters made for cutting the cable. It cuts it pretty good. Cut that off and get that out of the way. And just start taking bolts out. I think that's all of them. And I'll go around and take all the ones off the bottom. Now, I'm going to take, this is where the handlebars is hidden. I looked all over for it when I first got it, and I thought, I wonder if they forgot to ship the handlebars. I had to look a little bit closer, they were down here. And I'm going to save these. These little wrap ties are come in handy if you do brakes on your car. You can tie them through your brakes and on your calipers and tie them up out of the way. You can reuse them over and over again. Kind of come in handy. Okay, as you can see, these handlebars have a hole in them. That's a locating hole. It has on both sides. So, cut myself. Watch out for that metal, it's sharp. So whenever you put these controls on, you gotta line them up with those holes. Okay, now you take your handlebars and you take this choke piece right here and you slide it on down the handlebar all the way over to the other end where the grip is on already. And then we want to take our, well, before we take our grip, then we want to take a little bit of grease, and we don't want a lot, we just want a little bit, go underneath the tube, throttle tube, so it'll stay free and operate good and smooth for a long time. Just want to work it in and get a light coating on it. You don't want a heavy coating on this. There we go, that should be enough. Then you take your controls and just slide it on. You gotta wiggle it and try to find the happy place for it, and then it'll slide right on. Once you get that slid on, then you can line your handlebars up. Like so. Get them started by hand, and then just a little at a time, work it down. Okay. Then I'll take my ratchet, and I'll just snug it down just a little bit so it doesn't come loose on me. I'll go back later and I'll retorque these. But you want your handlebars set in a position which looks good for you and centered in the bars. You can always move it later if you're not happy with the position. Okay, and then you take your throttle housing, and as I showed you, there's a hole in this bar, and there's a locator pin inside this housing, and you just got to squeeze them together and kind of work it back and forth till you feel it fall in. I just felt it fall in. Now see, once it's in, you can feel it rock back and forth, and keep it pushed together, and then tighten your 2 screws. We'll take our brake lever, and with our caps facing up, like there's an arrow and a word up on it, put those on. Those are a 8mm head. Okay. Put the other one in. And you can adjust these levers to any position that's best for you. You can have them flat, you can have them down, you can have them up, whatever works best for you for your hand position. I like them down a little bit. Alright. So that's all snugged up. That side's done. I think there's a, let's see, okay, the wires, there's 2 wires below the brake reservoir, and they're already attached. It doesn't matter which wire you put on which post. It could go either way. Okay, now we're going to work on this side, and we're going to have to take this one all the way open, because it's going to have this piece fit inside of it for the choke. So you got to take these screws all the way out. That noise you hear in the background is my heater. It's April, but it's still 38 degrees. It's in the morning, it's a little early. I can hear the dove out there hooting, whatever you call it. Okay. Okay, you gotta take the cable, have a little bit of room at the end of it, like so. Put it into the hole, and then let the cable run down into the groove. Now this is kind of be the tricky part. Let's see. You gotta put this piece over the top, like so. Line everything up. And find that hole in the bar. Gotta be, let's see, where's, no, that's the headlight, so it's got to be down this way somewhere. I'll try to get this turn signal buttons back at you, and then that way you know, right there it is. You know you're close whenever your controls up here at the top look right. Alright, now I gotta find where the holes go. Now, this is the long one. There's two different size screws, length of screws. The long one, you'll see, goes with this long tube, and it goes toward the front of the bike. Okay, now you just want to put this back on with the arrow facing up. This is pretty easy to do. I mean, it's just nuts and bolts, all nuts and bolts. That's what they used to tell me whenever I started in mechanics. You know, some stuff was intimidating to work on, and it's like, you know, you just got to look at it like it's just nuts and bolts. I'll move this down just a little because I like it down. Nose is running, sorry about that. Between getting over a cold and being chilly out here. Make sure the choke lever works, and it does. Headlights, turn signals, horn, passing light. Everything feels good. Okay, don't pull the brake lever yet. So let's see if we can raise her up. Okay, now it's time to put the front wheel in. I went ahead and I greased the front axle with my green grease. I like it because it's marine grade grease and it's good stuff. So it's waterproof and seems to do well and not washing out. So you take your axle and you start it in until it just starts to come out the other side. And there's a shipping plastic that's in between your brake shoes. You have to pull it out, and then you line your rotor up in there, and then put your spacer in, raise it up until it starts, run it all the way through till it just almost comes through the other side. Okay, when you're ready to put this in, take this plastic piece that's got all the grease on it, line the notches up with the notches in the wheel. Then you can take your housing and slide it in, and then all in one turn. You got to turn this fork shock and try to line it up at the same time. Run your axle through to the end, and then there's this post, and then there's these two pegs. You want to go in between that and just kind of roll it, turn it, and then it'll fall right in like so. Alright, now you can see that this post is in between those two pegs, and the axle is all the way through. So now we need to get a little bit of this blue thread locker, put it on there, and then we'll put the nut on. Okay, I'm just going to snug it up a little bit. I'll torque it later. It's not very much. Make sure your brake works. Pump it up. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to take it off. Okay. get this out of the way. Now you get these little rubber grommets and you want to put them in the hole like so. You just kind of squish them in there, they'll fall in, it's no big deal. Put them in from the inside, it makes it a little easier. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. I'm going to put these shoulder washers on there. 6 of those as well. Okay, and the decal goes towards the front, of course. And you just slide it in. Don't tighten them just yet till you get all of them in. There we go, got 3 started. And those 2 are in. Tighten those. Alright, now there's 2 different size brackets. One's got a big hole, one's got a smaller hole. The bigger hole goes on the brake hose on this side, and the smaller one goes on the speedometer housing on this side. The speedometer cable, I mean. Okay. Okay. Okay, and there's a 8mm bolt. It's on the back side of this. what this goes into. Okay. And then I would say that this there we go. Okay, so peel off some of this stuff, take this off, pull the band off of that, pull that down. Okay, now back here at the back of the seat is a keyhole, so I'm pretty sure that that's to release the seat. And I'm going to take the seat cover, plastic seat cover protector off of that. Okay, so now we'll take our charger off of it and we'll put our caps on it. And get some kind of soft face hammer. Make sure that's seated real good. Alright, so we'll put the battery in where it's kind of at the top of the box, but it's flat. Then we'll put the positive cable on first. Let me see if it's going to hit. If I do it like that, maybe it will be better like so. Yeah, I think I'll do it like that. I'll bend it a little bit. Alright, we'll put the bolt in, hold it in with the screwdriver, and we'll try to get this nut in here lined up. There we go. That wasn't bad. Tighten it down good. And then cover it up best you can. There we go. That ought to do it. And we'll get the negative. I'll do the same thing. Put the bolt in. Put the nut behind it. Tighten it down really good. And then work it forward a little bit. And then drop the cover over it, like so. I'm going to line the battery up, drop it down in there. Okay, that's good and tight. Now you can put your rubber strap on. Okay. That part's all done. Now we'll set the seat back in. Drop it down in there. Okay, now it comes with these straps that you're supposed to put on here, but I'm not going to use those. I'm going to use some zip ties. Also a reflector that goes up here. I'm not sure. I may make some brackets and move these lights down to here. These turn signals, I mean. There's one on each side. Well, if you've watched any of my videos on KPR, you know I love my center stand, so I don't think this has a bracket for the center stand, so I'm going to go with the swing arm spools, and I already ordered a set, so why not put them on? They're not very expensive. It's already got the holes here. All you gotta do is screw them in. No big deal. Let's turn the key on and see if we got any life to it. Oh yeah. 0 miles. It's got a fuel gauge, a tachometer that goes up to 12,000 RPM. Of course, you got your miles per hour, your gear indicator, I believe that's a clock. And that changes color. Turn signal. Okay. Okay, all I have left is to put the mirrors on. Has an R for the right. The right side of the bike is always going to be with you sitting on it. And this has got an L for the left side. Okay, let me get a wrench. Okay, so we'll snug the bottom one down. And then we'll line it up where we want it. On the top one down, snug it down. No, it's left-hand thread. So on this one, you gotta loosen it to tighten this. There we go. Yeah, this is left-hand thread also. Okay. Let's get that off. Okay, I'm all done. Everything went pretty good. The only thing that I might have changed is how I lifted the bike up. If I had a milk crate or something, I probably would have lifted it up and just set it on a milk crate, something like that. Or what I've done before is I've tied lifting straps to the rafters and pulled it up. That would have been a lot better. What I had worked good, but it was a little unstable. I didn't like that too much. So I'd do it a little differently next time. But other than that, everything went really well. Went together good. All the bolts tightened down good. So that's going to be it for the assembly video. My next video is going to be a PDI video. I'm going to go over the whole bike. I'm going to tighten fasteners, checking fasteners, tighten them. I'm going to use some blue Loctite on certain ones. And I'm going to check certain operations and go over things you need to check before you actually go out for your first ride. So the PDI is going to be my next video. So anyway, I know it's a long video. I'm sorry it's taken so long, but this is actual footage of putting this together, and I didn't want you guys to miss anything in case it was your first bike or something. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Consider subscribing to my channel, and see you next time.